YESPIXEL, episode 10, a special episode with two guests, our guests, HIDARUM and SPECCYPHER. How's it going, boys?
What up?
Hey, today's episode is brought to you by the sun. Yeah, the sun wants you to know, it just wants you to just stare right at it. It's all we want you to do is just stare right at the sun. Just go out, just look at it.
It's really good for your eyes.
You didn't tell me. You didn't.
It's free.
It's literally
just
free.
Like touching grass.
We have been trying for a Sun sponsorship for, I think, since the beginning of the podcast. We reached out to the Sun itself and actually talked to the people on the Sun.
Mm-hmm. It was actually, you know what the trick was? I couldn't reach far enough. I got those little T-Rex arms with the teeth bite, and I just linked a trillion of those together. Boom.
Isn't that what 52 said?
That's exactly what 50 said. I didn't believe him.
Yeah. Perfect.
How's it going, gentlemen?
What's up, boys?
What up?
Good.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course.
So,
it's our special 10th episode. 10 weeks we've been doing this consistently. It's been a blast. We've gotten really good feedback, results. People are liking the podcast a lot. Some really like influential people have reached out and said like, hey, we want to be on. So it's really cool. And I wanted to make sure that for our special episode, instead of like finding people with like the most views or the most like content worthy, I wanted to find the boys. I wanted to find the people that helped me get to where I am in NoPixel, and I wanted to make sure it was people that like were like salt of the earth NoPixel streamers, right? And that's you guys, 100%.
Calling these guys salty?
Yeah, they're salty of the earth.
Yeah, bro. Honestly,
we're W fucking crims. All we fucking do is shoot.
We didn't get the W yesterday.
We didn't get the W yesterday.
Well, you lost the SDSO? Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lost like half of our people. Fucking
no, we had to we had a 5v fucking 15 on like an island, dude. It was fucking gnarly.
It was fun. That was
it was sick. That was
the most fun
Cops win again, baby.
Yeah, dude. It was. It was fucking rad. It was just cool.
The only reason you guys lost is because you didn't have a plane to fly into anything again.
Honestly, if they don't see the jalapeno bit come every time.
Actually, to be fair, I think Sis
we did
flew
actually.
Yeah, Sis flew into Toretti. Toretti like almost like brake checked him in the air because they were following him.
Yeah,
and it like Sis and them completely blew
just
up, and Toretti somehow like lived.
What?
Dude, W chasing
Yeah.
Toretti,
They landed on the
bending
island.
space and time just to catch a W. Disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
But tell us a little about yourself, boys. Let's start with HIDARUM. Who do you play? How long you been on the server? Tell us a little about you.
I play Nico Canto. I've been on the server for like, dude, I think I'm rounding out 2 years.
Yeah, right
3
around there,
years
yeah.
now. I think so. I think it's also like the longest stint of role playing I've done too.
Mm-hmm.
Like before when I was like when I was 19, which was not a year ago.
That was like a year ago, guys.
No.
Like
That was like 6 years ago. I used to just play on like random like fucking servers and play for like a month to maybe 2 weeks and then bounce. So it is kind of weird to actually be in the RP like scene and like fully digest it, but it's pretty sick.
Right on. What about you, Spec?
Well, obviously from our prior talk, part of the HOA along with Hida play Luis. A lot of people don't are a little thrown off by the voice because Luis's voice is much different.
You want to give
than
us the
mine,
voice?
But,
It is.
it's hard to do like Uncle
He's an
Man.
actor. He's preparing.
Okay,
Guys.
he's
Give
doing
him a
his
moment.
lines, he's powdering.
Lo.
I just gotta
How
I
now,
gotta do like the
brown
hello. hello. That's how I'm like.
Hey,
I
it's
hate
me,
doing it with
Luis.
the webcam.
He has such a distinctive voice. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I do like the "What happened" is my favorite line.
What happened? What happened? It's like one word.
It's fucking
Dude,
good.
so I started playing on. So I met, in addition to 52 Chains, I also met HIDARUM on Wild West RP. We had some good RPs back then, and kind of went around the same time to NoPixel together. Hida like a slight delay, but I think you're in like school or something, and you're like, I'm so busy, like we'll figure it out, right?
Yeah, I was in Korea.
That's
doing
right.
An internship.
Yeah.
For like a month and a half.
But came over shortly after. And then shortly on playing Stanky, like I ran into SPECCYPHER playing Louise. Back when Louise was just like Gem Criminal, right? He was just like a guy, like not like he wasn't doing like your standard like
Barely
oxy
even a
running
criminal, to be
everything.
honest.
He was really trying to get into like the main thing you were trying to do was like make fake IDs. I remember this like it was
Oh
yesterday.
yeah.
So Stanky like would go around and steal people's IDs and drop off like 30 IDs at a time for Louise, and he'd be like, "Jesus, Stanky."
Yeah.
Dude, that's actually wild.
The first time I got raided, they were just all in my apartment. So I just got hit with like I forget what the charge is. It's like fake ID. It's like
Identity theft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what the charge is, but it's like they hit me with like 30 counts of it. I was like, oh my god. I was like, it was-
That's
but
great.
yeah, that
That's
shit was
wild.
fun.
And then Hidarumo, when you were first starting out on the server, you started as like you were like a BMXer, dirt bike guy, no plans of being a
Yeah.
criminal. You're just kind of being like a scumbag
Dude.
teenager kind of.
Yeah, Nico was just supposed to just be, even in the start of 3.0, he was just always just going to be the skater kid who at most dealt drugs, right? And that was just going to be the height of it, and it was just going to be very slice of life. And then I ended up somehow getting pulled into like the lot shit, like lot Q and lot T.
Yeah.
And then that has been like, that has been like the slow incline of like Nico getting into shit, because I did not think working at a parking lot would get you in that many shootouts.
Lock
Dude.
Q, man, it's so wild.
I'm telling you, man, Lock Q bred some shooters, dude. It was like, dude, there was some boys in there. It was kind of crazy. It was like, what? You got in a shootout over what? And it's like, yeah, I had to fight the entire GSF. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, and then recently, he's just supposed to just be this like little drug dealer at most, like pushing weed and maybe like ecstasy. And then now he's like he's his own little kingpin. He moves cocainium.
Cocaine, nice.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
It moves cocainium. Eater of golden apple.
That's
the
right.
apple of eternal life.
Yeah.
Still waiting for him to get gutted like a fucking like a frog for a science exam, but we'll see.
Find the apple just still
Yeah.
inside, perfectly intact.
Yeah, intact as if he just swallowed it.
That was
Yeah.
so random. I fucking love that.
That Dam Dweller arc was so funny because like it just started out of nowhere, and then dude, we got people to bring us like so many bottles of water for that, because we were just trying to get the bottles of water to then go convert it into something to like for more like alcohol or whatever. It was just too funny.
So
But yeah.
talk to me, either one can go first, but talk to me, how did you go from where you were in the server to the HOA? I would say, in my opinion, the HOA is one of like the primo gangs in the city, because it's like at its heart still an RP gang, right?
Yeah, just built different.
HOA, all they do is shoot, man. Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that montage video I made
RDMU.
is that montage video is not so much of a meme anymore now. For Nico, he knew a few people in the HOA. He was like Nico had his arc where he was dating Lily, who was like an OG of GSF, and then her dad was Huck. So then Nico knew Huck, and then he also knew Blandon because he was also hanging around there, as well as he knew Andy from like 2.0 because he was working at her gas station, and then didn't really hang out with him much. But like when I was trying to run the skate shop as Nico, he asked Vasily on how to be tough and run a business, because he runs his tattoo shop and like no one fucks with him. So then carried that, and then he got hired on at the bar there and would just work when he could, because I kind of liked bartending RP. It's just kind of funny to have like a frat boy working there.
Yeah.
And then there was like a weekend stint where the frat came into town, and then Nico was rolling with the frat and Kleb,
Nice.
and then we just got into shit, and then we had this whole bit of going around doing like drug dealer RP out of a van, and then he just kind of got pulled into it, and the shooting side, there was supposed to like be more like weight to it, but then everyone like I just couldn't get a hold of like a therapist for Nico because like he's just this kid who's like never shot a gun. But
I shot somebody.
Well, yeah, his first big shooting was like he shot cops during like that like PD war way back in the day. So he's gonna go to therapy and do all of it, but no therapist was picking it up, and then so he instead asked his friends who are criminals, and they said, "You gotta do what you gotta do to protect your family." So he just has a lot of bottled up emotions, and it is very repressed. But that has been like kind of his run into like the gang life.
That's so sick, man. What about you, Spec?
For Luis, so I think it was the first or second day, actually. I think it was the second day that I was able to get on the server. I was just basically, obviously woke up at the apartments, whatever. I don't know what happened, but I ended up getting like a taxi tour like type thing by 40. She was like in like some like Diladante or something. And we got like a taxi tour, and we were talking about how like we were looking for a job, whatever. And then she just randomly brought us to the tavern. So then we were talking to I think it was like Kian and Dante at the time. We were talking to them, and we basically got an interview in which like we literally I think we didn't answer a single question right. It was like all completely wrong. And they still hired him on, but like some just random chance that they were just like, this guy's an idiot, but it's like he's funny at least, so I guess like fuck, they just hired him on. And from there on it was kind of just he just worked the bar, and slowly, like obviously just by being in the area or like being kind of like around HOA, slowly kind of came into that group. Initially he got into a lot of trouble because they used to do like the park patrol a lot before, and like that was something I was like, oh yeah, like that's like something we can get into and like just help like watch around Mirror Park when we're not doing when the bar is like slow or whatever. And we got like shot down like right away. But like we still kind of like try to hold down like the gas station from like robbers and shit, which was like kind of funny because like Luis got in real big trouble a couple times. And then yeah, since then we kind of just slowly worked our way in to the point where we just basically became HOB and got demoted, and then became HOB again, and then became HOA. So yeah.
What does HOB stand for?
I'd call it HO bottom, but
yeah, I don't even know what it is.
A and then B is that why?
Yeah, I think it's just the B team. I guess.
Okay, I gotcha. So I have two distinct memories of things that were like a big deal for Louise transitioning kind of from HOB or hang around to like a big deal. I'm going to talk about the more recent one first, and that was the wheelchair shooting.
Oh yeah,
the wheelchair gangster. Yeah,
Poggers is fuck.
Oh,
does anybody? Can we find a clip? Do you have a clip for that easily accessed?
Dude,
I can find the clip.
I actually should, because I had to get it to make the montage. Let me.
How long is the montage, Hida?
Dude, it's 11 minutes, and I made it an homage to like those old like CS:GO food videos where he's like just jumping around. It's just that song playing behind it.
That's too funny.
Yeah, I may be able to find it pretty quick.
So there was that one. Oh, send it to 52, and he'll screen share it.
Our screen share.
Here we go.
And then 52, if you could send that link to Traumz, he's going to compile a list of all the links, and then he's going to send those to me so that I can put them in the show notes.
That
I am
clip
teamwork.
Was something else.
I'm doing that.
Teamwork, baby.
Volunteer.
Show notes guy. Your chat demands it.
Yeah, of course.
That is true. They do ask.
They don't
do you
ask.
blame
they
them?
like demand.
Do you blame them,
replies.
Hydra? I didn't even know show notes existed until you said that.
All right. This was so Louise is in a wheelchair, and you guys are in a shootout near Grandma's.
Who are you shooting?
So basically, for a bit of backstory, so why did we even?
So
I was gonna
the
say
reason
a
why
bit
we're
of
at war with
backstory,
the
but I don't even
Saints is
remember why we went
they
to
fucked
war with
over a
them.
really big court case.
Oh yes.
Which got one of the members to admit to terrorism, which then fucked the case for others. Because like once one of you is, if you're an accomplice to it and you admit to it, then it goes bad. That happens. Fucked them really bad. Lost a lot of money, and then we were like, okay, this is all over 50K, so this is time to send a message. And then the reason why Luis's legs are broken in this is because the week before, Nico and Luis spent this whole fucking time fighting with Sizz, and he would beat the fuck out of him, like beat us. It was what pushed Nico into his docile arc, where he's like, oh, I don't challenge him. Don't look at him. And that
OG
is why
put you in a wheelchair.
OG put him in a wheelchair. Yeah.
He completely smashed us with his big the raid, the big challenger.
Yeah, just pinched him up against a wall.
Yeah. So instead of just being like oh, shrug it off, whatever, I was like fuck it. I was like, I'll just act. I think I rolled for it too or something.
Yeah.
And the doctor showed up. They were like, "How's your legs?" And I rolled. I got a 1 out of 20. I was like, really fucking bad. I was like, they hurt. I think they're broken. So then I just rolled with it, and literally, and in that battle, I'm literally. My rotates I pull out the wheelchair and I'm rolling across the road and then I get out of it and I just sit and kind of I'm like a turret basically because that's all I could do. And we still ended up putting yeah. Oh, he's down.
All right, wait. Technical issues. Give me a second.
You're good. You're
Oh
good.
God, Chains, you had one job.
Oh yeah, this was the luckiest form of events
Pure
too.
skill,
I think
chat.
one of them ran out of.
Listen, guys, he's talking down. This is pure skill. Okay, he does aim trainer in a wheelchair to be ready.
One of them. I think one of them. I think one of them didn't have armor, and the other one ran out of ammo just as we started shooting them. So it's they were kind of just fucked. But it led to
he's just being humble. Don't listen to him.
The best clip. Oh, he's down. I just see so a turret, and then I just go to rotate.
This is the most BM ever, I swear. In a wheelchair, have you no shame?
Yeah, this is. I'm just trying to see him through the bushes too.
He can't. He cannot.
All right, 2 down, boys. Don't worry.
I'd call it a day for life. I'd perfect.
And then after that, I had to load it felt 12 bodies in a car.
Welcome
bro.
to my world, motherfucker. Welcome to my world, motherfucker.
The best part is, I think even he was rotating by crawling around too. He was
I was crawling,
and he was it was dredging, dude.
That's so good.
It's dredging.
That's so good. So there's that one, and then the other one is the story is Louise and somebody else are they find they've been stealing cars. They find a random truck in a red garage. And they open it, and when they look in the glove box, this was back when you needed special dongles to rob banks. There are 2 golden dongles just in the glove box of this thing. You want to tell them the story about that a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm trying to remember the guy that we, that was there when we found it.
Yeah, the problem, one of the reasons you came to Stanky Legs, because the guy was really inconsistent. You didn't want to give it to him because he didn't have prio. I had prio at the time, so I could be on whatever. So you ended up giving them to Stanky Leg to hold on to find someone to sell these golden dongles. Mm-hmm.
So basically, this was at a point where I think this was when the vault first came out. Mm-hmm. So there was only I think 2 or 3 groups with 1 gold dongle each. So then we found a bison and it had 2 gold dongles just in the glove box. I think it was 2 gold dongles, and a red one. And at first I was I didn't want to take it because I thought somebody head popped or something, and we waited for I don't know 45 minutes in
a long
red
time
garage just
until
waiting.
Right before tsunami basically.
Yeah. Because obviously I would get on with an hour left or something back when the queues were super rough. eventually we kind of we grabbed those, and I even double checked with other people. I was like, is this like scuff? Like, should I even have this?
You
Like,
even OOC'd to see like, hey, did anybody head pop? Does anybody have like anything left in a bison? Like tried really hard to make sure you weren't screwing anybody else over because of like 5M bullshit.
because that was like, again, the red dongles were a big thing. Like, I think maybe one group or two groups. I don't even think anybody had completed the vault yet at that point. So it's like the red dongles or the golden dongles were like the holy grail type shit when it comes to the heist.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually we got those. We just were like, okay, we might as well take them, and then we just try to make a bunch of RP out of it and reach out to like different groups, and kind of like make like almost like made a lot of connections, I guess, in terms of like reaching out to that to like build relationships that would obviously like go on like later.
Yep. Can I jump in with a part? Because I remember this like super vividly. So you gave him to Stanky Leg to hold on. He's the character I played at the time. And we're like, all right, Stanky, we're gonna split these up. We're gonna try to sell them. You can sell one, and I can sell the other. That way, we make good connections. That's the most important thing, is we make good connections.
Yep.
And so I ended up finding I ended up reaching, because Stanky Leg had like a connection to Uno, so he reached out to. He wanted to talk to Uno, but he called his like OGs are like Hutch and Curtis, right? So he called them to talk to them about it, and they ended up calling Uno to meet him on top of White Garage to discuss like the cost, like trading. And Stanky Leg was like, we don't need money for these. Like, if I give you these, like, I want you to give me and my boy Louise like work. Like, that's what we want. We want this to be like, you trust us to give us some work. Like, that's what I want.
Yep.
And they were like, cool, we're in. And they ended up like running up all the way to Mr. K, where Stanky Leg is like on the phone with Mr. K, like planning out how to get these. And Mr. K's like doing his thing. He's like, I'll give you $100,000 and we'll give you work. We're going to like get you in. And then like, as soon as I hang up the phone, Louise calls Stanky Leg in like a panic, going like, Stanky, I know we said we could split these, but I need you to give me both of them. And I'm like, why? And he's like, I talked to Sis from the HOA, and he says that if I give them to if I give these to him, like, he's gonna like know me. Like, this is gonna be like a big deal.
I completely forgot about that part. Yeah.
Louise and Stanky, we went back and forth for like 2 hours, just like trying, because like Stanky Leg was like, I play Stanky Leg as like a very greedy character. Yeah. So he's like, no, I want the 100K and the connections to the chain gang. And Louise is like, no, you don't understand. Like, I've already had some interactions with Sis. If I don't give them to them now, I'm going to lose a lot of respect. And ultimately I knew right away that I was going to give them to Louise, but I was like going to make him fight for it.
Yeah.
And so finally we go together to Mirror Park like 10 minutes before Tsunami, and Sis, like, he's like, I don't know why, but he's like, you're Stanky Leg, huh? So you're the one who was holding these, keeping them safe for my boy Louise. And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm a pretty tough gangster. And he's like, how tough are you? I'm like, I'm pretty tough. And this was right when the sawed-off shotguns had been brought into the server. And he's like, are you tough enough to survive one of these? And I was like, hey, I can survive anything. And then he just shoots Stanky Leg in the chest with a sawed-off.
Yeah,
you definitely.
That's very Sis fashion. He loves
I have a horrible
shotgun.
memory. You definitely remember that better than me.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. The whole the deal initially. Yeah, you're right.
I remember it all. Yeah, that was wild.
Good.
So technically, if you think about it, even though nobody remembers but me, Stanky Leg already has a connection to the HOA. Think about it. Just saying, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's true.
shit.
It's true.
True.
I think actually, now that you bring it up, I think like one of the points I brought up was like we'll both be able to get brought up because we both had one. So it's like whether Luis just got in or like whatever, like he could still recommend a Stanky, like, and like kind of like at least like vouch for him to come in.
Dude, I think if I got back on Stanky, like, I think I want to change the way I play him. I think I want to like come back a little bit from like the like trying so hard to be a gangster thing. I think that's so exhausting because you just get tough guy RP'd when you do that. Now, I logged onto him the other day, and I like threatened to kick somebody on my motorcycle because they cut me off, and so they pulled out an AK-47 and shot me 67 times. So I was like, oh,
That's what you get, dude.
Get
what are you
fucked,
doing?
pussy. Yeah,
I mean,
You
get fucked.
stupid
Fuck with
idiot.
somebody's bike, man.
Ray
Yeah.
shield.
God, you're
Ratio.
dumb.
I know, I'm so stupid. What an idiot.
How do you not roll around with an AK and just shoot everybody who
Dude,
wrongs
honestly,
you?
if I could, I would just keep an RPG on the back of Stanky Leg, and anytime somebody shit talking, be like, I'm a tough guy.
Yeah.
Just take a page out of the HOA's book and bully people out of Mirror Park.
Oh yeah.
That sounds
Yeah,
fun,
that's
honestly.
also true. HOA bully gang.
Bully gang.
Bully gang on top.
All right, lads.
Ooh.
That time of the show where we need to go way back. We want to know. We want to know a little bit more about you guys, but further back. Let's go all the way back to what got you guys started on NoPixel, your first application, and what character that was with.
Yeah.
So, Spec, let's have you go first. So, like,
Um,
what got you into NoPixel?
Well, I RP'd a couple different servers before.
Which ones, if you don't mind me asking, if you remember?
So it was the first one I was a part of where I was like I played a couple different characters. I played like this like Italian guy named like he basically just went as like the stallion basically. He had like these big chops.
That's why Tim. We have a mutual friend, Tim, who
Yeah,
always calls
that's
him
why
the
he calls
Stallion.
Stallion, yeah. Because it just goes way back. And it was risky RP. It was just like a smaller community. But like that was like I think I played maybe for like a year or something, and then I eventually I started playing Luis and was like the leader of the Vagos there. And eventually some stuff happened with that city. It closed down, and then we moved to me with a couple of my people, like a couple of my buddies, moved to SVRP for a bit. And then from there on, I was at SVRP for, I think, maybe like 3-4 months. And I think I met Nate, which plays Carlitos of the Vagos. I met Sammy P, which plays Mando. If you guys met them. And then like a couple other people. I think even Danielle comes from SVRP. And sorry, I met them in SVRP, and I seen they like started playing NoPixel. I was like, oh shit, like maybe I should like try to put in an application, whatever. And then that's like eventually I put in my first app. I think it got denied because of it was like one of the questions I just like I just answered like really simple. So it got denied, and then eventually I just like expanded upon it. I got on my second try, and from there
Ooh.
on I was kind of
Number 2.
just like trying to snipe Q every day.
Dude, I remember you and I would share. I think I would do this with all my friends. I did this with Hida too. Everybody. I would like I would like look everywhere and figure out like this exact time to log in. Be like, okay,
Yep.
you have to leave 5M open, and then the
Yep.
queue starts at like 11:23 and 11:10 and 23 seconds, and then what you
Yes.
need to do is start hitting queue at 21 seconds because the lag between the connecting and the actual joining. And dude, we would like have some like wild
Bro,
takes.
we
on
had it we had it like down to like a science for like trying to just get in, man, because it was just this was like when I guess like earlier on into 3.0, this was like when it just started like blowing up super crazy. So like the queues were like super rough, and it was just like we were just trying to get in. And even with like those like little strategies we would come up with, like it still wouldn't do shit. But
Yeah, if you were lucky,
Still
like you'd get in an
like-
hour before reset.
yeah. But from there on, I pretty much I think Luis was just the first character I played, because I played him. Like I said, I played him on the old server, so I just kind of brought him over, and I just like try to like just expand upon him basically. And yeah, since then I've just played Luis. I'm just a one character Andy at the moment. So
I think that's honestly, I think one character and then maybe a cop. If you have a cop character too, I think that's like the way to go.
Mm-hmm. I've been
Yeah,
thinking about. I know a lot of people make cops, especially HOA. HOA have like their whole HOA PD and whatever.
My
but,
God.
I've been thinking about it, but I feel like I'm still like newer to the crim, like the crim just scene in general and no pixel. That it's like there's so much still I want to do. So it's like I haven't really got burnt out on like crim stuff yet.
Yeah.
So I'll probably just wait kind of maybe till either stuff slows down for the characters server wise, or maybe like maybe I just get like a little burnt out and then try to switch it up a bit.
Wow.
But yeah, that's basically it.
Damn.
What about you, Mr. Hida?
Dude, what got me into RP was I was part of the Summit wave. But what really got me to stick around was watching Seer and Silent Sentry.
Dude, yeah.
So then I was like, whoa, this is sick. Like, this is funny. Because at the time when that all like kind of kicked off, I was like working at like just some sushi place as like a host, and I would I would just get bored and I would just do a voice and then just do like a whole bit, and I was like, hey, I could do something like this. Like this is kind of fun. So then I played on like some random servers. I'm talking like random, like just type in like role play on like
yeah
in the Finder.
yeah, like real random, and I played for like a week. And then I played on like Love Fist for like a month. And then I was like, okay, so you can, and like I saw like people who were like doing like all other kinds of role playing. I was like, okay, so it doesn't have to just be like bit comedy, like it can be like other shit. So then I tried out Wild West RP, and then did that for like a month or two, and then I took an internship to like South Korea for like some marketing stuff, and then I was like there, and I was like kind of riding a high, and I was like, dude, fuck it, I'm gonna just go for it. I'm gonna just swing at NoPixel and see what happens. And I got in on my second app.
Yo,
then,
2 app Andes.
Yeah, I got in my second app. I remember, and I laugh about this now. I remember I was like, I had my girlfriend proofread it, like it was school, because like I hadn't finished college, so like it was very like, if I remember, it's very written like very essay format in a way, like it's very like very college application, and then yeah, and then you know, trying to get in queue every day. As much as I could. I remember, man, those were some long days. They were rough, but but now, yeah, it's a bit easier. I've thought about making a cop character. I just don't think I have enough time, work wise, because like I got like a 9 to 5, and then I come around on the server when I can. But one thing I do to make sure to counteract is I try to watch predominantly like cop streams. Like I always have like their perspective and understand like what's not fun, you know, what, you know, and shit like that. And also kind of just learn how to read their room, because it is different spaces, and it's always going to be through like a different lens. So I think it's good to always have that second perspective and understand where they're coming from and know what kind of shift they had for the day, because it can also be not fun. Those shifts can be rough. Like when I work at autos, I always ask how their shift is going, so that way like I can kind of figure out like, all right, what's it gonna be like for them today, and you know, kind of gauge how I want to do things and make it at least interesting and or fun, or not like just like
yeah, playing a cop is also a great way to like play a wildly different character than what you're used to, right? You can take a huge personality change and like really like be like it's just like you could be more of a supervillain type character. You can like be a hard ass who's like a big asshole, like 52 Chains does.
Hey, what do you mean?
Yeah, he's a self-insert. You guys don't know that? You haven't figured that out yet?
I'd probably be a real like hard ass if I were to make a cop, just to like make it just super like from like being a crim. Like I don't want to make a cop character and then just be like the easiest going cop character, you know what I mean? So I feel like I would have to be a little more like rough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I do enjoy that the hard ass cop. So it kind of makes being a crim worth something.
Yes, it actually makes even with like the cum unit.
I like that a lot.
I've always liked the idea because Obviously, like with the way the city is right now, um, obviously like class twos are just like everywhere. So at
Rampant.
least
Yeah.
it makes like at least for like a bit, it made it like actually like really like oh shit, like I really need to be careful. I can't just walk around with an AK and just like go grab food, go like in the Uwu cafe, do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like you actually had to be careful, and it just adds that fear, I guess. You know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah.
don't have that constant like police breathing down your neck type shit,
Just yeah.
obviously crim's not, you know, it's not fun at
Yeah,
the
we
end of
talk
the
we
day.
talk about that a lot, about how the like energy of the server has changed so much now that people are just running around with class twos, and when they get stopped by cops, it's like an inconvenience. They're like, "Ugh, stupid cops with nothing better to do." And we're like,
Yeah.
like, why do you think we're here?
It's their job. They gotta protect the city. Like, yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I wanna go back to something that
Oh.
Nico, you mentioned. You said that you started off with Red Dead roleplay, right?
Yeah.
Wild West RP. I want to ask you, what do you is there anything you miss from playing in that type of environment, or is there anything you prefer compared to No Pixel?
I've gone back to play Wild RP because I do have a friend who works on the staff there. So like, he's like, you should just come try it out. I do like. I mean, this is kind of like everyone's response though. It's like, oh, I like slow burn RP. I love slow burn RP. Of course, everyone loves slow burn RP. It's long form storytelling. But I think it's like a double-edged sword where you can't see somebody all the time, so your interactions have to be like, they have to have that bite right then and there.
Yeah.
Right. It has to pull. So you kind of have to be on. While it being said though, you know, you won't see somebody for a long time. I was talking about this like last night too. So I do miss that a lot. Like those initial like first impressions mean like so much, because like you may not know if you're gonna see them again. And I kind of like that element too, but at the same time, it's also like it's the double-edged sword. And it would be kind of cool if we can get more of that again in No Pixel, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, the first impression, oh, this character, you know what I mean? Where it's like that one moment where it really like stamps a relationship. As well as like, I do kind of like how, I don't know, I do kind of like the environment of Red Dead RP. Like, the landscape is just so nice. Granted, I like going hiking and stuff, so it's like being out in the woods and hearing like the twig snap is like, it really adds like the immersion of it, and it's like fun.
I have a character on Wild RP that like refuses to use guns. He only uses bows, and and he doesn't own a horse yet, so he just like walks places in the woods, and it's like so nice when sometimes I won't even interact with people. Sometimes I'll just walk to a place, I'll shoot a deer, I'll carry the pelt and just like be doing my thing. I'm like, man, this is nice. This just it feels like the map of Red Dead, for whatever reason, feels a lot more immersive than GTA. I feel that.
I feel like it's because it's alive and it's
just so much
responsive.
newer. Yeah.
But yeah,
Which makes you think like, bro, like how crazy GTA like 6 is gonna be, or something like that. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's gonna be, it's probably gonna have like a similar feeling in terms of like just how alive it actually feels, as opposed to like everything just kind of being like dead landscape, and then with like little like things here and there.
Yeah. I will say, I'll circle back to that. What got me into RP? I'm still surprised. I am into RP because like the space I came from before that was just fucking Counter-Strike and just competitive shooters, like hardcore. Like, dude, it was fucking gnarly.
I also
like,
I also came from, I played a ton of PUBG. I played all the shooters. And I would play to the point to where I have Tourette's, and my hands, like a thing called de Quervain tendinitis, which means like the more I use my hand, like it swells up because the tendon sheath's fucky.
Yeah.
But I'd play until my hand was like swollen like a sausage. I'm talking like 12, 14 hours a day of these shooters. So going to RP was like a space for me to use my like comedic brain and like make contact with my brain instead of like my reflex skills in shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a nice
Less
reprieve.
about mechanics.
Yeah, I agree.
Which
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I'm similar. I come from just like just like any shooters. I will say one thing I forgot to bring up earlier that Hida kind of reminded me of. What initially got me into RP was actually I used to watch a lot of the no pixel like Arma RP. So that's initially what got me into RP. Um, and then from there on, like I think it was like Silver Lake. I think it was called like Silver Lake City or whatever. The Arma RP.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch that like a ton because there's just certain people that I like that I would just watch on that. It was really funny, and then eventually everything moved over to GTA 5, and then that's eventually I just tried it myself.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up the no pixel Arma because this is like during that time when I was like coming around on like YouTube and stuff. I was like such a CS:GO fanboy. Like, dude, it was bad. Like CS:GO Lotto, all that shit. Like,
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
just yeah. Just like run the face it ladders, ESEA, whatever with my boys like in high school, and like I was like subscribed to Immortal HD or Alex on it, and I would
Yeah.
watch all of his CS content. And I remember seeing like the no pixel Arma shit, and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And I would like not watch it. I watched it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? That doesn't make sense."
They're
Give me more
talking, not shooting.
Counter-Strike.
I hate this.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
exactly
funny.
what got me into it too. Was Immortal HD.
Nice.
Or
Yeah.
I guess Alex now, but yeah, he got into that Arma RP, and that shit was funny, man. Some of the stuff back then was just it was so because obviously like it was so much more drawn back in terms of like they didn't have like the foundation they do now in No Pixel 3.0 where like they have like all this stuff like boosting and it has like this whole system
It's
and all this,
mostly
but
just
it's
role
just
play, like word role play.
yeah, but just some of the RP that came out of that shit, like I remember still to this day, like there's just some of the funniest clips of um just people like I don't even know. There's just a bunch of really good moments back then that like I think that's yeah, like Kita said, that's what drew me into RP and then yeah,
That's
got me
awesome.
into it.
So somebody
Yeah.
mentioned GTA 6. What do you guys think about the leaks?
People were shitting on it, bro. People were
Yeah.
shitting on it. I'm like, bro, it's pre-alpha. What do you expect?
And it's old footage too. It's not even like current shit. It's tough.
It's always so wild to me to see people shit on like leaked videos where it's like you can see like the movement engine and all like the code coming down, and then like the graphics look bad. It's like no fucking
no
shit.
shit.
They're prioritizing the code. Like,
I will
what?
say like
And then sorry, the best part
No,
too
no,
is
go
everyone
ahead,
was
go ahead.
like, they always work on graphics first, and then everyone starts showing the pictures of like early
Right.
samples
Yeah.
of things, and it looks
Yeah.
like shit. Horizon Zero Dawn actually looks like the fucking Toy Story dinosaur, and everyone's like, "Yup, they
Skyrim
prioritized
literally
graphics."
looked like Play-Doh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
GTA 5 looked like because
GTA 1.
I've never actually watched pre-alpha footage of GTA 5 before until like people started comparing it to the GTA 6 one, and it like literally looked like GTA 4, which like
Yeah.
if you haven't played GTA 4 in a bit, like
Not great.
those graphics definitely they definitely came along a big jump between like GTA 4
Yeah.
and GTA 5.
I think one of the most concerning things is, and I doubt this would happen to a game like GTA, a Rockstar game that's so loved by its fans, but what happened to Cyberpunk? The expectations were so incredibly high. It didn't matter how perfect that game was. It was going to get haters right off the bat.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid of something like that, happening where because people have seen stuff like this, now they have pre-existing notions of the game.
Of how it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you remember when he was wobbling through the street and the gunplay in the alpha was terrible. Like,
I will say it looked like it reminded me of it kind of reminded me of Watch Dogs when I was initially watching it for some reason.
Oh yeah, the
no,
way
I
like she like
agree.
would move
Yeah.
around in the cafe or whatever. Yeah, I kind of
Yeah, like it kind of
Yeah.
reminded me of like it was giving me like super Watchdog vibes, which I was kind of like iffy on, but
I don't know,
at
dude.
the end of the day,
Watch
it's like pre-alpha. You know what I mean?
Watch Dogs, I've seen some clips of it. It looks pretty rad. People do like some parkour stuff in it. Like there's good movement in it. So it'd be cool if they took like an approach to parkour and made
I would love parkour
climbing and
in
mantling
GTA.
better.
Oh,
It'd be kind of rad. I think
Yeah,
it'd open up
GTA
some stuff. It'd be cool.
I'll
GTA
be
5
honest.
like mechanics are pretty trash. I'm not gonna lie. Like in terms of like the movement and stuff, it is
Super
so
linear.
clunky.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't think GTA 6 is gonna turn into Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, what they revealed was like the polished version. You know, they showed you what they wanted to show you, and its biggest flaw was like glitches with AI and character movement.
Yeah.
But GTA
Biggest flaws,
6,
guys like you hating on a perfect game.
I was just playing it.
I was
you
just
know,
wait, I
what
was
are those
too,
butch
yeah.
people called? Those butch people. I had one of them in a chokehold for 15 minutes, and he just kept going off in my ear. I couldn't put my gun on nothing. But GTA 6 trailer, the movement, the AI, everything looks so fucking good. The foundations are there.
The foundation's
Yeah,
there.
I agree.
100%.
You can tell they
That's
put a
what made
lot
me
into
even believe
physics
it.
as well, and there were just
Yeah.
like little things too. Where I don't know, I didn't watch much, but I saw a few clips of like main characters shooting at cops, and the ragdoll physics on the cop were like, damn, that's actually really impressive. Like I know
Yeah.
ragdoll physics been around forever, but it just looked good. It looked like bullets had an impact, right? Like a meaningful impact, and it was. So I got high hopes, right? And there's still so much more that like we don't know.
Yeah. The other thing too that like makes me not so worried about it is like they're probably pulling from the Red Dead 2 engine or something. They're doing something from that. So they've had a game that clearly works on it. So now you're just adding on top of it. You're cleaning it up, you're polishing it. You're even like fine-tuning the areas that you could clean up.
Already Red Dead has like some good feel to it, especially like I think one of the like the best things that like I hope it's just it doesn't even have to be better, just like make it the exact same is like the fist fighting in Red Dead. I feel like the fist fighting in Red Dead is like so sick. It's
satisfying.
like
it is the best thing ever.
Every time you like punch somebody and like
they can
the
block
fact you
it
can
or
like
they can
tackle
duck it.
somebody,
Choke
like,
slam him to the
that's
ground
just
and choke
funny.
the life out of him.
That's just
I
funny.
like that a lot. Yeah, if they can bring that would that'd probably be the only thing I'd want from it. The rest of it, I'm not too picky, but yeah.
What do you guys want the map to be bigger than it currently is, smaller than it currently is? What are your thoughts on that?
They leaked that too.
Did they leak the map? Oh, I didn't see
heard
it.
I think the map is like pretty massive.
It's like
been-
2/3 the size. Or sorry, it's like 2 times the size.
Yeah.
So you fit like 3 of the current map in the new one.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
God.
if they kind of clean up how maybe like the counties work. It's just the one thing I always feel bad about the GTA 5 map is like Polito is so up and out of the way, and then you get there, it's just not like it doesn't have the same bite or draw as like even Sandy. You know what I mean? Like
We truthfully only use half the map.
Yeah.
And that's why Lifer Q became a thing, is because they had tried to get people out of the city. They're just like, we'll do anything to get you out of the city, please.
Yeah.
Which I think was a smart decision, because at the end of the day, Lifer's like very obviously at the end of the day, like just being in the prison, like your tools and stuff you have to yourself is like very limited, and it's very hard to make some. That's why like some of the they're some of the best like RPers in my opinion, because they just have like nothing to go off of, and they just have to like bare minimum just like pure RP at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think that's like good to kind of promote it, like almost that it's like we'll give you guys Q or prio if you guys like play lifers and actually make like the jail like feel alive, you know what I mean? So I think that's an important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Mr. Time on last week, and that was a really fun take to talk about lifers and prison and how good consistent RP as a lifer can lead to prio in the server, right?
Yeah.
And that's like all they have is like each other and almost no mechanics to make shit happen. So it was very fun. And Hida and I actually have experience. We were one of the first lifers on the server. We with the Yazuka crime family.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Dude, that was so fun. Dude, I remember we talked when Crayon was on, Warden Fontaine, God Warden Fontaine. when she was on, we talked about kind of why the Yazuka stopped coming around as much, and mostly it was that I got my prio back on the server because it got fucky from 2.0 to 3.0, and finally like Han or somebody was like, oh yeah, here it's fixed, and I stopped playing Killua as much, and everybody else kind of just usually I would be like the impetus. I'd be like, hey guys, hopping on Yazuka, and then people would be like, oh fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But then there was we had a guy that would hang out with us a lot, and he would like watch our streams, and one day Hida was like streaming, and this dude is like getting bullied by people, and this guy like he's like, this is bullshit, I'm gonna log on and fuck them up, and he is like, don't do that. And then he logs on, and then a bunch of drama happens from that, and I think that was kind of like the point at which you guys kind of both like pulled back a bit from playing in the prison a little bit.
Yeah, I would come to the prison every so often, but it also hurt doing the voice. It wasn't very fun doing that voice for like a long period of time. Like that, like real anime voice is like, it hurts.
Yeah.
And,
It was
like, my
super
throat started
anime,
hurting.
too.
I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. This is like,
Yeah, the Killua
not
voice,
fun.
I can do it for a while, but not 8 hours. It requires me to talk from the back of my throat. I am a Killua Yazuka.
Yeah, dude, it just hurt. So I was just like, I'm over this. Like, I can't do this shit anymore. And then, also, I think at the same time, I started like working like a contract job, and I was just like, it was like,
Yeah, we also had we had a guy, I can't remember who it was, but we had one of the Yazukas who like never wanted to like roll with like the crime family feel. He would always log on and just start punching each other and like doing some wild shit. And finally, we ended up like perming one of the other Yazukas by like dropping a barbell on his neck or something. You remember that?
Oh my god.
And
oh yeah.
And so
I did. I remember that.
so you and Killua's characters got sent to Supermax, and that was kind of our reason to stop playing on the lifers for a while.
Yeah, we went out. We went out with a bang. I think we did like crazy shit too. I think we ripped someone's arm off with like a barbell, and then I think one time someone like crossed my like lifer character, so he like there was a fire hose in the showers, which I always thought was so funny that there's a fire hose in there,
the shower,
openly available.
Yeah.
Like the pressure a fire hose can get is like fucking detrimental. So I was like, oh yes, let's go. I would bring that fire hose everywhere and just blast people, and then people would roll it, and it was kind of funny.
That's so good.
The man, the fire hose.
Classic
The one thing I do laugh about is my friend did make a lifer character on there, and he was this real weird dude, and he would always have these random bits, and he did this bit where he's like, he comes to my character and he's like, hey, I have something to show you in my cell, come look at it. And he does a scene, and the scene is the perfect turd. Like,
oh my god.
he took like a massive shit and wanted to show it off. I broke instantly. It is still some of the funniest RP I've had. Like, dude, perfect turd RP is so funny. Perfect turd RP is the funniest shit ever. It's poop. It was so funny. It got me.
So you guys are kind of like when I know Heat, I know you don't get to stream as much as you'd like.
Yeah.
But Spec and both of you guys, when you do stream, like any sort of consistency, you guys got pretty good numbers. I mean, you're pretty much crushing it pretty well. I'm really proud of you guys. You guys have like been coming up, and when you do get on, people are like noticing you, and people like actively will like stop watching a more popular, more higher view count streamer to come watch you guys, because you guys offer individually like very unique characters and perspectives. It's really awesome to see my friends have these really like creative characters that are unique and have like 52 Chain says a lot. They have character traits that they stick to, and like that's really what defines like a good character in a roleplay server. Is like just like Mel, if you called him old, he will kill you, right? That was the old Mel. It was consistent. It was something you could rely on. And that you guys have stuff like that, and it's really sick. So I just want to say I'm really proud of you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, the only tough part about playing Nico is like I pitch up my voice a bit, and then sometimes naturally when I get excited and I start laughing, I just fall into that voice. It gets really high pitched. And some people think I am like a bro. I have like bro tendencies, but that's like
people actually think you're a bro.
People actually think I'm like a frat boy. I think they actually think it, or like I'm a Zoomer, even though I'm really not like comparatively.
I mean, you're basically
like,
you just turned 20, right?
Yeah, I did
No,
basically just turn 20. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically.
But I mean, like, it is funny. Like, they come in there and they think I'm like come up with Zoomer lingo, but it's like random shit I heard from like a podcast. Like I remember
Podcast or
someone
a
was
TikTok
like,
or something.
yeah, like it was like an H3 podcast, and he was like a goof and a gaff, a romp and a laugh, and I was like making fun of like instead of saying a goofy goober, I was like, oh, he's I said something along those terms, and they thought I came with some new Zoomer lingo, and I was like, no, this is like old like random H3 shit.
Yeah.
And then I heard one time, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, but yeah, I think it's kind of nice like not streaming too much, or like when I can stream, because then maybe like the opinions are like refreshing, or like it's just a different like take on the stream. Because like when I want to stream, I don't really have like an overlay. I just have like the cinematic bars. I just want to like get something where if I want to come back and edit it or compile it down into like something I created, I could do it. Yeah. Then like the other hard part too, I feel like making like a good character is like you really gotta like think for a while. Like because like you have like one like character trait, and you have to like kind of like really crank it up to like 12, right?
And then build
like,
a whole personality around that, because you can't just
around
be
it,
the one
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Because like Nico's just the skater bro, but then like he kept getting called a frat boy, so I kept like thinking, and I was like, well, like within like a frat house there's like multiple like subcultures in there and shit that like can like come from a certain thing. And then even like when I was like wrestling a bunch in like high school and stuff, like you're just with a bunch of guys, but everyone comes with like a bunch of different backgrounds, so it's like, okay, how can this character add to like an RP feel like that? And then you just kind of really hammer and hit it home and try your best at it.
So I have a kind of strange question. This is going back to a little something we talked about earlier. Do we all have prio here? Do you guys have you guys prioed? You guys all prioed up?
Yeah, I didn't have it for a long time. I think I just like recently got it.
Fuck yeah, man! Congrats.
So that's actually kind of where the question is, because I know every No Pixel role player struggled with this right at the beginning, was getting into the server. And my personal experiences and a couple of friends that I knew around the time who were also struggling with it, we would try every day. Like every single reset, you'd be there, you'd be clicking that button, you'd be trying to get in. And then when you finally did get in, like that day you got random prio, or you hit that button at like the perfect time, like you're in. It almost made, at least in my experience, made me feel like I needed to be on. Because I'm like, oh, this is my opportunity. 100%. I gotta do it, right? Like I have no choice.
Yeah,
1000%.
But then when I got prio, there was almost like a weird sense of relief where I felt like I didn't need to be on as much as I was, right? And I kind of backed off a little bit. Did you guys have similar experiences with that? It's kind of where you're spinning.
Oh man, my camera switched off.
I don't know. Prio has always been like a weird thing for me. I had like many instances where it felt like I was about to get it, or like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you have people like DMing you, like, this is it. This is like your moment. Like, there's no way you don't.
Yeah, you had Rami. You had Rami recommend you after the Fire Lord thing.
I had Rami recommend me. I had like a bunch of other.
That was like a year and a half ago.
Starter 3.0, there was like a whole like moment with like the Goths and Nico, which was like funny that I got to do Skater Boy with his goth friends at the park. RP, fucking funniest shit ever. Very weird. It threw me back to like high school, middle school. But even my friends were like, "There's no way you don't." Like you're with like you're with like the admins, like they're loving this. There's no way you don't. And then I didn't get it. And there's no like there's no I fucking hate them. They suck. It's just like damn. So I just kind of like in my mind, I was just like, well, I don't know if Prowl will come when it comes, but I'm gonna just keep going at it and just hammer away. Uh, sometimes if like I sometimes if I don't have like the strongest bit or like something I want to work into for the week for like roleplay, kind of hope or rely on others will have a bit for me that I could kind of like parachute off of. But I do think with like having work as well as like uh I go to like the gym pretty like often, like 4 days out of the week for like an hour and a half, gives me like some time to like think about stuff and also just do my own shit and then want to be on the server and be on. So like, but granted that is different because I know for you like traumz, you stream, so it's like you gotta be there, you gotta show up, be present, and like balance way more. So like I do think especially for me since I don't stream all the time, I can be more on or more engaged with the character or my responses because I don't have to look to my left and like think about, am I being entertaining enough for chat, and am I balancing like a good production value of like, do I have music that is fitting to this scene or just do I have good background music to fill a dead air, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I definitely felt like once I got my prio back, I felt like before that I was like, I have to try every day to be on the server to like prove that because I already felt like I earned my prio, and then it got screwed up when switching from 2.0 to 3.0. And then I was like, I need to show these people like why I had prio before. So I was role playing my little heart out. And then once I got prio, I didn't like stop trying as hard, but I just stopped putting so much energy and thought outside of the server into it. Because when you don't have prio, you're constantly thinking like, what can I do better? What can I do to show that like I'm funny, I'm creative, I'm interesting? And then once you have prio, instead of thinking about it beforehand, you just get on and then role play and try to let things happen. I feel like is what happened with me. And I think that's probably a pretty common situation. What about you, Spec?
My whole thing is it's weird because I try to avoid at all costs being in the server if I'm not streaming.
It's a good
Like anytime I'm in the server, I'm streaming. And that's for a couple of different reasons. One is just to prevent. I feel like some people when they get that prio, they almost like they have to be on like all the time, and then they almost like burn themselves out. So I feel like with the streaming, it kind of like it almost like it's like a weird like type of moderation thing, but it's also I'm like a big advocate for like I always like to watch shit back. So if I have like a big RP scenario with like just a big funny like skit with like some other like people I don't normally RP with, I always like to watch that back from like even my perspective, but like other people's perspective, because I always like to see kind of like, okay, how does this shit come off? Like, did it come off how I try to RP it? Basically like to almost like it's like a way of like trying to improve my RP, you know what I mean? Kind of like the way you deliver stuff, the way like the pacing, like even just very small stuff. I'm like very OCD with that stuff. So sometimes I'll like try to do like especially like earlier on, I'm like getting a little better with it now, but like even sometimes I'll like think of like a really funny line in the moment. So I just like I'll put it out, but then the way I delivered it won't be like exactly what I meant. It's like I always have to like I always like to like watch that back. So I'm like sometimes I realize that it's better to just like almost like take that like second like just of like silence and then deliver it rather than just trying to like deliver that funny line as quick as possible and stuff. So I like to use that kind of like as a tool almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like the opposite with when I'm playing
Yeah,
my
I'm the
characters. My
opposite.
brain
Yeah,
is
I like to fire them
my brain is
yeah.
off and my mouth is on. That's how it feels when I'm RPing. And I think that's one of the reasons like so many people like you'll hear me laugh at my own dumb shit that I say, and then other people laughing either because my laugh is contagious or because I said such stupid thing that like traumz and I cannot ride together because we we laugh. We have too much fun. It's a problem.
Yeah, when I play,
a
like,
problem.
when I start role playing, I blur out like I am
I'm
not
like in a fugue
I am
state.
not.
Yeah.
It is not me. It is just Nico.
Yeah.
And then when I'm done, I just like like I come through.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know how to explain. Like even when I was like competing for wrestling a lot, I would just like kind of blur out my matches, and then I would wake up after and be like, "Whoa, what the fuck happened?" Where it's just you just get into that like flow state. As much as a meme of the flow state is, but yeah, it's I do think that's funny how you and I get along really well. Is that you're very like calculated in your word choices. I'm already thinking of what I want to fire, and it's going no matter what. It's loaded in the chamber, and it's coming out.
Yeah, Louise is like, I think that the best way to proceed. Nico's 10 miles down. He's like, everything's on fire.
Yeah, fuck this dude, bro. Smoke him.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe I'm more flow in the moment, but I think that's why I like to like go back and watch it because sometimes I like just get in the flow and you're just saying stuff and it's just you're just going. And I like to like always like watch that back, especially from other like points of views and just like be like how did this come off? You know what I mean? Like and it's just like a better way to just improve RP in my opinion.
100%.
So at the end of the day, you want to provide the best RP you can, right? So it's like a big thing I always try to do.
What about 52 and traumz? Did you guys experience something similar, or what was it like going from no prio to prio?
Go ahead, 52.
I'll be honest. When I first started off, I had like a good month or two with no prio, and I'm very impatient. I don't like having to wait for anything. If I'm in queue for more than 1 hour, I'm done. I'm doing something else. And they got to a point where you know, I don't know. I always used to fuck up queue sniping. I could never get it right. And then eventually I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't meant to be. I'll go have fun on Red Dead. I'll keep doing that instead. And then I don't know. I don't even know how I got it. I don't think it was a specific encounter. I don't know who it was that gave it to me, but I logged in one day and I realized I had prio, and ever since then I've been coasting. And on that other point, you know, like trying to sequence the words you say during roleplay, I realized if I plan shit out, it's always underwhelming. But if I just freeball it, you know, just don't think about it, just go straight into it. Nine times out of 10, it ends, you know, something interesting. The other one time, it's punishment. But that's me.
It's not more so like I plan it out. I guess it would be more so like
you're thinking about how to RP better, like right?
No, yeah, it's kind of like I'll think of a line on the fly. It's more so like I'll look back at it like later, I guess. It's more of like a retroactive thing than like in the moment. In the moment I flow more than I guess I explain, but it's like
Before I do move on, I want to add one more thing. In GTA, I can't plan shit out. But in Red Dead, like Wild West RP or Wild RP, I don't know why, but when you plan shit out on like a Red Dead setting, it plays out like a fucking movie. But in GTA, nobody has the patience to see the story through with you. So
it's how it goes. I mean, but that's what I was like saying earlier, is that like those conversations, you don't know when you're gonna have your next one, so they need it. They need it. They're
always like
they're gonna hold on to it. Yeah.
What about you, traumz?
But
it was definitely strange, like getting prio. We kind of just, because Miles and I, we got it at like the same day for Littleman shit. Mostly in thanks to Nova as well, Uber Haxor Nova, who really stuck his neck out for us and was like, All right. You guys have been bugging me on Barry for a while. Like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. I need you to give me 3 clips, and I'm gonna send them to the Prio guys, and we'll see what we can do.
Dude,
He's like,
Nova's such a
okay.
gem.
Yeah, he really is a big
He's a
sweetheart.
rad motherfucker. He is a rad motherfucker.
He tried to help me get
Dude.
like quite a few times.
Yeah. I even was ready to help pay half of like his paid prio.
Because I was thinking about
like,
getting paid prior.
I was like, hey, just tell me what all Venmo you have. Fuck it. Because dude, yeah, it's brutal. It's hard. It's really tough. It's hard, especially when you want it bad. You know what I mean? And you can feel like when someone they want it, they want it, and then like,
and not just they want it because they think they deserve it, because they're like fighting for it.
They're hungry. They want it. Like it's different. It's like it's cool. It's cool shit to see. Especially for me, where I come from, like a heavy like sports background, very like competitive. And I do always like promote like individual sports like martial arts, or wrestling and stuff like that. Even like dancing, where you have like free form like creativity. It's cool to have that mindset of like, well, you are competitive, but you have to be also kind of creative in your craft, because it's just you. So then like when you deal with stuff like this in RP, it's like it's cool to see like similar or like-minded individuals where they're just like fucking real creative and really trying to push like something. Like it may be whatever they want, or maybe something that you're doing, but they're trying to push, and it's rad. It's cool.
So you mentioned getting priority with Miles at the same time on Littleman's. What was it like after that?
Yeah.
A lot more structure, which was really nice. It was actually kind of funny because I just got hired as a cop. It was like July of last year or something like that. I'd been hired as a police officer like a week before. So I was already like under the mindset that like, nice, I'm gonna have at least a little something to fall back on, right? I could play cop.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited to do that. It was what I was really looking forward to. And then just like a week later, we find out that we're getting that as well, and it was like, ooh, okay, all right, okay,
yeah.
It was nice, but it was strange. And the reason I asked like what you guys, how your guys' feelings were, is because I felt this like obviously like a sense of relief. Like I didn't have to wake up at 11 PST or whatever to queue up for the server.
Yep.
You get exactly 10 minutes after, right?
10 minutes. And
it was seconds, like you got some like semblance of like, okay, well now I can set my schedule. But it was also, I was going for like the 11 p.m. ones too, right? And if I got in, I'd be up to like 6 a.m. I'd literally stay in and RP my heart out, right?
Oh, dude, I bet the girl loved that.
Yeah,
there was a couple nights, man, because the queues for I'm on EST, so it's 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. And there's a couple times, because obviously like the later one's always usually easier to get into.
Yep.
There were some times, man, I would be up till like 10 a.m. like just because like I'm like, oh, I get in, I start streaming, and then like by the time I know it, like it's been like however many hours, like 8 hours. I'm just like cooked out of my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I should probably go to bed. I was like, I would have to, and then I would go to bed just to wake up back at 2 p.m. to get in the queue, and then probably like fucking go back to sleep or something sometimes. Like it was
rough.
Bad,
They were rough times.
Rough. Yeah,
the consistency is really nice. Being able to,
the consistency is nice. You get your life back. Yeah.
I still struggle pretty hard with consistency. That's why I was so proud of 52 Chains and traumz and I for doing this for 10 solid weeks without missing a day. 52 missed one, but that was like a planned thing. He was like, I got a thing with the boys, and it was like, fine, you get a band, it's whatever. No, but
like
dude, it's so nice having a thing happen consistently. Now that my work schedule's changed, I'm gonna try to be. I took this week to kind of adjust to my new schedule of getting up at 3 a.m. and being done by like 9, being maybe 10. So that's a lot nicer. So I can like jump on at the 11 like queue and then go from there. So I'm really looking forward to more consistent. So I'm gonna start doing Stanky Leg pretty regularly and John Hydra
Yeah.
pretty regularly. And I think what I'll do is I'll start with Stanky Leg and get like, and basically my maybe this is like a negative way to think about it. My thought is like once I start feeling frustrated on Stanky Leg on my gangster character, then I'll just go to Beyond Cop and try really hard not to bring that frustration over, because I think
Yeah.
that happens when you're like an unaffiliated kind of annoying like L taking character. Is it's fun for a while, but it can very quickly become super unfun.
Get old.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
A thing about the server I feel like is with right now it's really hard, and you've seen this with Psych Harder too. It's like it's really hard to just be like your lone wolf, like not affiliated with any gangs. Like you almost like at this point everybody's
Have
a
to
part of
be.
some gang, some affiliation. And it is kind of like it sucks because it takes away from like or it I guess takes away but like limits RP in like a lot of different aspects, but it's
Yeah.
like
Civ RP
at
is
the
worse
same
than
time
it
the
has ever been
way
right now.
yeah, the way this it is right now, I feel like you almost like don't have a choice. Like you're
Yeah.
pretty much griefing yourself if like you don't join a gang at like some point, because it's just the RP limitations is just kind of way different, I would say, I guess.
I will
Yeah,
still
that's why I
never
was
understand why like it's okay to be like a $1 million like bank robbing criminal and also own like a super successful business. Like that seems like such an antithetical, like it just seems like it's just like spitting in the face of Civ RP. Because in the past you would have civs that were like clean and would like run your like crime business legally for you, and that offered people who weren't and didn't want to play like gang type characters to be like adjacent to them and have like the connections and like their RP, and like you could like, oh, I of course I get to see, you know, Mr. K and Vinny on the regular because I'm the legal owner of Maldini's or whatever. And like that was cool. And then if like they went off and did a crime spree and got caught, their business wouldn't be like asset forfeited, right?
yeah.
It would be cool to see um more punishment with like in terms of like those established businesses where it's say for example uh like Lang does something like really crazy, goes in for the nines, like the Roosters gets taken away from him and like goes to somebody completely different. But
Yeah.
I think it gets really complicated with those businesses in terms of like an OC kind of thing, like
Yeah, because
especially with like
Buddha has like
Roosters.
spent actual like money having people
Yes,
design like
to
roosters
get
for him,
that,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I would,
So
if you
then
tried
it
to take
gets a
that
little
away, I'd be like, no,
awkward,
no,
like
no.
OC.
The
Yeah.
one thing I've thought about a solution to the storefronts and like businesses, and it always ties back to how much I fucking hate dirty money in the server, in
Mhm.
that it has actually no value until you clean it. It is literally just
You should be able
a
to spend it as
placeholder.
cash.
Yes, and you could fucking have it laundered through storefronts because those places can take cash,
Mhm.
right? And you would
Mhm.
work out a thing where you just like, hey, clean my money, you have a large cash flow intake, and then do it like that, and you have like this cool like
Pay for your gas and dirty money, like
something, but like you could have some kind of way of also like cops going like, hey, what the like you're cooking your numbers, like what the fuck is this, like, you know what I
that'd be
mean? And
sick.
like
Yeah,
it'd be cool, and like rather than have people pay taxes, it's like when they deposit a lump sum of money that's way too much for
like
like
flag it or something.
yeah, boom, it gets flagged, right? And then
Mhm.
the detective scene gets a whole thing, and then civs now also have like they have to walk the line of like, all right, I'm doing this in gang territory underneath a business for a gang, right? And now I also get to interact with cops, I get to interact with criminals, and I get to interact with civs all in one place. And then the social hub becomes way more integral. And then it also like becomes like, you know, taking someone hostage is gonna have more weight, right?
Mhm.
Like you take someone's not just their clean guy, but someone that owns a business that they launder
Yeah,
money through is like, hey man, you're actually kind of fucking with my money. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
I don't like the clean guy RP where it's like you're just a placeholder and a name for this, and they don't get too much benefits out of it other than like some, the gang protection. It'd be cool like if that like the clean guy was actually more like they actually could
yeah,
like
yeah.
do more than just be like a namesake. But it's hard to. I also know like dev side that'd be really hard to code all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
really, really complex and really.
That'd be sick
cool.
because then like FIB or there could be like a financial crimes unit, which I think FIB would be great for. But they would get those pings, they would get that information, they would be the ones like checking the shit out. Oh, it'd be so sick.
Yeah, it'd be rad.
Yeah. So Spec, I was looking through our old DMs because I was trying to find if we talked about the gold dongs. We never did, strictly in character. But I did find when I was really popping off on Stanky and I was getting like 200 to 400 viewers, pretty consistently. I raided you one night after you'd been awake for like, I saw you'd been on for like 14 hours or something, and I was like, damn, this guy's still.
I think I got like a double random prio thing, and I was just like,
so I just sent you something. I want you to look over it real quick, and I want you to tell me if it's okay for me to read some of this, or if you want, you can read it. Just because it's just so wholesome, and it just makes me so happy to think about like where you were and where you are now. And while he's reading that,
you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I rated Spec after he'd been on for like 14 hours, and we'd been RPing a bunch. And this is when I was like popping off because Zerka really liked my RP, and so he says he's like, hey man, I know you're asleep, but I just want you to know what you did for me today, the raid. I will always remember and hope to be able to give back the same plus more. That was by far the biggest raid I've ever had, and I believe it literally jump-started my community, and I can't thank you enough. Even just seeing the fact that you added a command to shout me out, I was blown away.
Yeah.
And then some more like, but yeah, it was just, what did you end it with? Just wanted to send you this, man. Have a good night and much love, amigo. Dude, it makes me so happy. Just to see
what the fuck is that, man? I didn't get the same treatment when I would raid you. What the fuck is this? The fuck is this?
I've always, a lot of people actually that like raid me. I always try to reach out, unless you're Hida.
Yeah, fuck that guy. But no, this was like we'd actually been talking, and you'd mentioned you've never gotten a raid over like 10 people or something like that.
Yeah, and I was like super like.
And you'd been streaming for like 14 hours to like 2 or 3 people, and just RPing your heart out, man. Like consistently going. Like I would check in on you, and you'd still be like zooming, like doing all kinds of shit, talking to different people. You were always working, always doing something. So I was like. I had this thought. I was gonna host, I think it was like Soda Kite or something, and then I saw you with like 2 or 3 viewers, and I was like, no, this is going straight to my boy. And so, dude, it's so good. I just think both you and Hida, you guys have come so far. So,
dude, my first interaction to seeing Cypher play was I watched him get a tattoo on Vasily, and I knew exactly what his character was trying to be, and I was like, dude. Fuck yes! I was like, there needs to be more.
Was it when he got shoved and then he tattooed up the side of his face or something?
Man, and you have the line, on your forehead, and I know what it is from, but like I wasn't in the server, so I'm like, oh my god, like
that's so funny.
I thought we were talking about like the down, it was like the down bad group that we were gonna start up or something. Like
I remember that, yeah,
like. Dirt poor people just like trying to be like a scummy
his
gang.
rogue group of renegades.
Rogue group of renegades. Yeah, I remember.
Dude,
I think Dean was in the corner too, just like laughing his ass off, just watching it all. And that that was one of the moments where I was proud of. Like that was still like in my opinion like some of the funniest RP I feel like I've been a part of. I was like so proud. I was like, man, like this will kind of like at least help to get prio, because obviously like it's really that shit we were talking about. It's a process to get that.
Yeah.
And moments like that really help out.
Mm-hmm.
But that moment, man, that was a good one. That's still one of my favorite times. Some of my favorite times too were like super cooked hours, man. I'm not gonna lie. I would be like
the brain starts melting, some wild shit starts coming out.
Bro, it would be like 2 a.m. like the 2 a.m. restart. It would be like 5 a.m. At this point I've been streaming for like 10 hours, so like I'm like cracking. I've had like a couple beers at this point because I'm just chilling, like RPing. So I've had like a couple beers, and I'm just like vibing. That's how I met one of my favorite memories was it was actually, this is when I met Sergio for this first time. Luis and Azul were like really
Azul.
close friends. Yeah, like day ones. And bro, I was a little buzzed at this point, and it was just like I was just like rolling with the RP and going, and just having fun at the end of the day, right? And we met, like I was with Azul, and we met Sergio, and like I don't know, Sergio had some beef with like Condemned MC at the time, which is like
Everybody had beef
Mayhem
with
now.
Condemned MC.
Yeah. And we like set up like this whole like elaborate, like pretty much it was like an ambush. And at this point, like I used my like Luis still had his license. He used his legal pistol in the ambush shootout, like everything. But it was just like some of like the funniest, just like super cooked, but just kind of like a funny like how the hell did I get here moment. And it was pretty good, man.
Can I talk
Well,
about
Mad's
early
an amazing role player.
who? Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
is absolutely.
Yeah,
Dude,
he's
that
sick.
guy appreciates RP so much. He'll go out of his way to give good RP. When he met Stanky, like they like got into a collision, and Stanky like tried to like G check him, and then like Azul's Azul, so he like actually G checked him and like scared the fuck out of him. And Stanky like was like, he's like, yeah, well I'm a rapper, and Azul was like, fine, rap for me, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And so I just did a freestyle for Azul, and he was like, wait, that was actually good. What the shit?
Yeah.
And ever since they've been like buddies. Yeah, talking about using your like gun license and like using your actual gun in a crime because like you're actually playing like a dumb criminal who doesn't know how to be a good criminal yet.
Yeah.
Everyone's always surprised when I tell them that Stanky like still has his weapons license, even though he's shot cops, he's gone to jail with Mike Block for terrorism.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done some wild shit, but he still has it. And that's because I play Stanky like really afraid of consequences. Like really, really afraid. Like he does not want... He wants to be like a master criminal gangster, and like...
But then as soon as he's like jail time, it's like, oh fuck,
He
like
folds,
you're gonna get like yeah.
So he's like super careful to like tactically plan things out, and then people like call him weird because he's like, well, all right, how are we gonna get away from the police at the bank? And they're like, well, we're gonna drive away. And it's like, but there's
That's
an
it?
infinite number of cops and they have a helicopter. And it's like,
Right.
well, we're gonna drive good. And I'm like, okay, but what if you don't drive good? It's like, well, I will. I'm like, what if you
What
don't?
if you crash? What if like what?
That's the hardest thing to do right now. I've been trying to get a criminal character up that isn't just like a stupid shitlord like the Littlemans, right? Like an actual serious crim, and it's so difficult because people come up and I literally had the Pete Griffin character approach me recently, and we were just chatting, and he goes, "Yeah, I robbed a bank recently," and I was like, "What do you mean you robbed a bank?"
How did
like, yeah,
you
we
rob
just-
a bank? Yeah,
we just robbed a
exactly.
bank, and I was like, you're telling me you just walked into a place full of cameras with a ton of security and you just robbed a bank and then you drove away, right? Like just, trying to get my character to like wrap his head around this
To
weird
grasp
Canadian
it,
guy.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if in real life somebody came up to you and was like, hey, I robbed a bank. And you're like, wait, you what? Like, what do you mean?
You're
It's like,
joking.
bro, like
You're like,
yeah.
oh, like you made the teller like put some money in a bag and you walked away. And he's like, no, we went into the vault and we took all the money. He's like, what?
Yeah, that's the hard thing too, is trying to like because at the end of the day, like NoPixel's never gonna be like it's never gonna be realistic. It's always gonna be
Yeah.
like a hyper like extreme
Augmented reality kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like shooting like, oh, I shot a cop. Oh, okay. So okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's like nothing in the server. So it's like it's
Yeah.
always hard to kind of like balance that between like you obviously want to be like, what do you mean like you robbed a bank doing all this stuff, but at the same time, like in a city so crazy, it's like it's
Mhm.
almost like what else is new? You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
why I
hard
always
to
like
get that
the-
balance.
Wait,
I always
On
like
that
the
note-
bit. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go for it. Because
That's why I always like the bit where you're for Luis and Nico's like, yeah, I did that shit. Where everyone's always they clearly shot cops and they go, not guilty. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, they got you right as rain right now. Like
I did it.
how? Yeah, so we
always-
always go, yeah, I did that shit. I did.
I
that."
always admit it. I even said like
I always
Um,
plead guilty. Always. It makes no sense not to. When they catch you, it's just like they caught you.
It's like we watched
Like,
you
it's
shoot
pretty
9
clear.
cops and then drop a
Well, even
grenade.
like running from cops, it's like it's you guys watch me get out of the car and run. Like it's not, well, I was just in the. It's like it's kind of hard to even like say not guilty to all of it when it's so clear as day. And then no one ever like goes back anyways to go do the court RP of it. So it's just like it totally defeats the purpose of pleading not guilty. You know,
I feel like the court system, like to be fair, like to go back and
it's like such a nightmare.
yeah, it's kind of sometimes it's like I don't know. The system right now is like even to what's the wordage to like fight a charge like retroactively.
Yeah.
I forget what the term is. It's like but either way, like to basically go fight a charge like retroactively is like such a pain in the ass, and it can take like months. It's like
If you don't
I
fix it in
feel
the
a lot
bench
of
trial, you're
people
not fixing it.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people just get to a point where it's just like
It's got to
not
like go on the
worth it.
docket,
Like-
and then you have to hope somebody takes it, and then a thing you're trying to remember the details of the thing that happened 4 months ago when it finally comes through, and you're like,
yes,
what's
yeah.
the fucking?
And it was
point
just
of
like a
even
small
trying?
situation. Like it was just like a boost gone bad, and you ended up like getting shot down by a cop when you like didn't necessarily shoot, but somebody else shot, and it was just like now you have to remember like all these like specifics and stuff about like a situation 4 months ago that wasn't even really like
We need to introduce
anything.
crim reports, which are like police reports, but from the perspective of the criminal.
yeah.
You guys need a CDW, a crime DW.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
They got records for
HOA court gets to the.
That's actually
True.
that would actually be
That'd
hilarious.
be pretty rad.
Please make HOA court a real thing.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Have you? They have it up in the dam.
Have you guys seen the dam yet?
Have you seen the dam?
I've driven through, but I haven't paid too much attention. I saw somebody get launched off
Ooh.
the thingy on a clip.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
It is.
Yeah,
I
I
don't want to
think
spoil it, but it's cool.
it's cool. I
if you ever
think
get to
I
see
think
it.
in the future, I think that there must be stuff going on where they're working out the logistics of how often they could do HOA court
Fuck yeah.
because HOA court. It's a good time. It's chaotic. It's like the Mari show. It really is.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
just
What were you saying? 52. You had a thing.
All right, on the topic of the server being more comedic than some people might like it to be, there was recently Coil spoke on setting up something new, a new server, and rather than me explaining it, I'm gonna play the clip for you guys.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Nice little clip. Yeah, nice little clip.
I feel like I'm going to end up killing this server with the hardcore server, but it might be worth it.
Of course.
At least until 4.0, I guess.
only have 295.
Is hardcore one life? No.
I didn't start watching.
I'm not sure what I'll do with it, but I do want it to be like a seasonal type
This is
thing.
recent?
So maybe it
Just-
wipes every
yeah,
3 or
yeah.
4 months.
Just pause it real
Maybe
quick. 52. So, Traumz, what you missed him saying was I might end up killing the server with the hardcore server, and then he started talking about this.
But he said it might be worth it at least until 4.0 comes out.
Yeah,
'Cause
and then he said,
and it might be seasonal.
yeah. All right, run it back, or just play it from here.
maybe you can't. Maybe you can die. I don't know, but I do want punishments to be very severe. Like if you go to jail for some shit, you're going to jail for some shit
That sounds so
for
sick.
a while.
Can I know?
Like you're logging out type deal. There's some shit we need to go over with how hardcore we want it, but like, bro, I want to try something. I want to try some weird shit, and I feel like a lot of people
Ooh, it
want to
makes
try
them
this sort of
excited.
shit. But yeah.
I feel
Only
like
one
it-
character, possibly. There might only be one character slot, or maybe 2. I'd prefer 1, like so you have to be a cop or a criminal, not or civil. You're not like
RTB.
I
10
think you should be able
different
to have
things
one
and
cop
shit.
and one crim.
Also, the idea of like, you know, we got to remove the whitelist. You have to like build everything yourself. There's no like set person has better shit, whatever.
I need to pick up from Viceroy.
Dude,
Cops
that's
on
where
a
I'm gonna
server
make
would
my
be the
first
worst- the
serial
worst for what,
killer.
though?
Yeah.
Anyone able
You
to?
guys
It's
need to
the most
understand, like,
impactful.
No Pixel isn't the only
Yeah.
type of roleplay
Yeah,
server
right.
there's ever been that has worked. The only thing that's ever ruined any roleplay server is all the fucking egotistical cocksuckers that, you know,
You're going off on a tangent.
end up
here.
leaving because they think they're better than everybody else in the community or something like that.
I actually like Coil's tangents.
Or they get done over dirty and then they leave. Same shit.
I'm glad he changed his haircut because he looked like Gunner for the
It all
longest
came
time.
down to egos, and that's
saw
why I'm
him,
so
I was like,
accepting
I
of
went,
any sort of
yeah,
roleplay shit.
and then I was like, wait, that's not Gunner.
Trying
But
to
that
make
Gunner got
everything
Trooper.
work rather than just one thing. But like, if we have a separate server, then we can force a style on that server and keep the other server goofy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I think 3 or 4 months is plenty, honestly. Because if it's one character, you know, if you get caught with like anything that's relatively bad, like
Yeah, we do
drugs
years.
or whatever, you get raided.
Oh,
you get all
man.
your money seized. 'cause
Oh,
you can't
man.
prove that you
Imagine
earned
being
it
a cop.
legitimately.
Oh,
Like I want it to be like that, you know what I mean? So it
would be terrible.
It's really rough.
No, it'll be a stomping
and
ground. You can shit on
constantly you're
everyone
losing
and get away with it.
If
what do you mean get
find out-
away with it, dude? You kidding me?
So
Dude,
if you really
people
do
are
take it
going to
slow,
maul so fucking
you
hard when
alone
you
just, like,
steal
dealing
all
drugs
of their
is like
shit.
yes. You know what
When
I mean?
they literally get fucking
Instead of it
pulled
being
over
like,
for having a
for my
class
dopamine hit, I need to
1.
rob a vault. Okay.
Oh man,
The fact that you could go on
The
the corner
mall.
and sell drugs for 20 minutes and be shitting your pants is the shit I want. If you go rob a store up the road, I want you to shit yourself. You know what I mean?
Go ahead and make sure that they're
oh, so he wants to.
Everything
be
you
like
do,
how
I
it
want you to be
used
shitting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you do a vault, you got to be like
He
fucking.
said doo doo.
You know, it's do or die. You do that.
Yes.
You got to be like fucking.
He's poop. He said it.
And if you do a vault,
Doo doo.
you got to be like
He
fucking.
said it again, dude.
You know, it's do or die. You do that once.
Doo doo.
I don't know if you guys seen like.
and you get caught, you're fucked.
Speaking of,
Absolutely
Doo-doo?
fucked.
like poop wars.
I mean, it's sort of like what it was
within
at the start of
HOA,
3.0 and the start of
Oh my
2.0.
God.
have been
And the
like
troopers yet-
super fucking funny.
They've been shitting in all over Muir Park.
What? The
I guess
troopers?
Soze, yeah, so I guess there's
Yeah,
like some long-term lore
Yeah.
that basically like Soze's been shitting like in the
In the
tavern
lake.
since
Oh.
like ever and like
Tavern, yeah.
shitting in Mirror Park in general, and it's always been like this beef that he has with HOA. And
I
it
saw you
just
guys
like
beat him down with hammers the other day.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
reignited lately since he came back to Soze and all that. And they have the trooper station like just down the road from Mirror Park, which is like perfect. There's been like this back and forth where like
Beef, yeah.
I think like Sizz and them try to sneak into the trooper station and like beat him up with like hatchets and stuff, and they like got absolutely just gunned down. So then they took them like to the LL, like the Liquid Library,
And just
and like
pooped on 'em.
like basically just shot like in that Liquid Library as like they watched and all that. Like it's just
Yeah.
been like this.
It's been wild.
It's been like a
hectic.
super like just super goofy like little almost like war between them, and there's been a lot
Yeah.
of funny RP.
The one thing I will say though from that clip, so he talks about like seasonal RP. I have a lot of friends who I've met through NoPixel, but we played D&D together. And they come from a background of like Ark and like Conan Exiles RP, and it's very seasonal. I don't even play much on it. Sometimes I do. But I'm a big proponent for seasonal RP. I think seasonal RP is super good.
It's super.
and
It lets
gives
things
you-
stay fresh, right? It's not doesn't get stale and.
Yeah, and also people know that like, hey, this is gonna only be on for so long. I need to bring it and actually have like a story, and like everything's gonna matter, and like nothing really boils over too large. And I think it's really healthy, and I think it's really good. And I've always been talking about how NoPixel should pick up something like that where it's seasonal, and it's kind of cool to see that shit where he's like, you know, maybe the hardcore server is seasonal and people come and they do, you know, a thing for a stint of time, and I think it could help out too. Even if the hardcore server stays up a long time, can also kind of help where he wants people to log off so that others can like do their own thing, and it'll get back to like 2.0 shit. Because I remember I was like talking to builders about like back when he was in like 2.0 and stuff, and how he's like, if I didn't feel like I was doing anything in the server, I just log off so others can play, and it's kind of
Instead
cool
of
to
just
see
running
them want
around
to do.
like.
Yeah.
Just
It's cool
doing
to see
nothing,
Coil
yeah.
want to push more of that of like, hey, you know, you're done for the day. You did your story. Come back tomorrow with new material, which is like kind of like
comic shit, you know, it's like an open mic. Come back with more written material and, you know, get
Fuck
your
yeah.
fucking mic time in.
And it's almost similar to what a lot of people do with like Red Dead. You'll see like people like Sab and stuff, for example. They'll do their stuff on GTA, they'll do that, and then they'll like hop over to the Red Dead and do like their little like couple hours of just like slow burn serious like Red Dead RP. And it would kind of be like a similar thing where I feel like you get like that couple of hours in on like that hardcore stuff, just make your story there, and then from there on you can kind of switch over and just fuck around and just do your normal stuff on the usual server, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds sick. I think seasonal RP would be super fun. I'd be down for that because I could do some. Yeah, like serial killers would actually be impactful, right? Especially if people like took that shit
You'd have
seriously.
so much weight.
Yeah.
You'd have so much weight. And civs would also, you know, get to hang out with people too again, because you know people are not going to do crime 24/7.
Yeah.
Every other like beat of the moment.
You wouldn't just shoot somebody in the street over like a dumb thing, right? It would be like,
oh yeah.
I've kind of a weird topic. I think, as far as I know, traumz, are you the only like full-time streamer here? Like the person that's like all you do for your work is stream?
I think so.
52. You're not. Would you qualify yourself as a full-time streamer? Because you stream enough hours now, I think. But
Yeah, I stream most days, but
Most days.
yeah, most days though. Kinda, maybe. Who knows?
But
Maybe
okay.
in the making.
Yeah, I think you're close. If you're not there already, like you're pretty close to like making that good streamer money, because you're like dude, your community alone, like people love you, man. Watching you stream is so good. But my question is, do you ever worry, and this maybe even for traumz, I'd love to hear your perspective on like because you started as like a Worlds Adrift streamer and
what
or
7 years ago,
yeah, and then kind of like you had like a path of like content creation, right? You didn't just start on NoPixel like trying to make it.
Wait, you played Worlds Adrift?
Yeah,
Dude,
like
he was
7
like
years
the
ago.
World's
Dude,
Adrift
that game
streamer.
was so
It was
fucking
so
rad,
fucking
man.
sick, man.
The
I
fucking
can I
like
say, dude?
spider swinging shit.
Yes, dude, it was
Dude.
so good.
Oh man, I still remember fucking flying through the areas where like your ship is barely making it, and your friend's like, "I'm giving her all she's got."
Dude,
The ship is
do you guys
falling
remember
apart,
cannon
and
stacking to
you-
get through the sand walls?
Dude, yeah. Oh, dude, that's sick.
What can I say, guys? It was the #1 World's Drift content creator, North
Dude,
America.
I bet I could
Built
outswing fight you any
differently.
day of the week, buddy.
Built differently, dude. That game is rad. That game was.
That game was so
rad.
sick. And the feel, like the ambiance, dude, the whole thing, it was such a sick game. I really liked it.
So sick. I wish they kept it going. Hopefully, someone like snags the code or some shit and they start hosting private servers. I will gladly.
Hell yeah,
live
that would
there.
be a sick RP server. All right. So my question is, do you ever worry that you spend too much time streaming, trying to make videos, putting up TikToks for your content? Do you ever worry that all this time is something that you could be doing something more productive that will lend itself to being like more financially stable in the future, or give you skills that you can translate into like a better career or a better thing like that? Because this has like been a thing that's been plaguing me recently, is I'll get on and I'll stream and I'll do like 40 or 50 hours in a week, and then I'll make $100 that month from streaming, and it feels really bad.
That's literally how it was for me for 5-6 years. Like I'd make enough in a month to buy a game, right? And it wasn't only until like recently that I even had the opportunity, right? And I worked a job before that and was just totally unhappy there, right? So, which is why I ended up leaving. And I was like, you know what? I'm in a position where I might as well give streaming a try, just to like, you know, like full time, right? Like see if I can make some of it. And then like within a couple months, I was at a point where like at least I was able to survive. Right now, I'm doing fairly well, but I do think that like it's a gamble, and the only reason that I put most of like all my eggs in this basket is just because of like my take on life, right? Like that you shouldn't really do the things that you hate to do, right? Like don't be like your parents or your grandparents or whatever and work like the job that you hate just because it pays really, really well. And it maybe like my father, he's a blue collar worker, you know, fabricator, mechanic, you know, it's just working his life away, right? And it was to support our family, it was to support him, pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I just never wanted to be like that. I wanted to enjoy like every moment of my life while I'm still here. And so that's why like I just got to do what makes me happy. And while yeah, I could be a fabricator too. I was a welder when I got out of high school. I made a lot of money doing it. I could, you know, go into blue collar work myself. Like there's so many more opportunities out there where I could put in just 40 hours a week and make more money. You know, you could there's guys out there who are doing like computer science and systems architects and all that, and who like make 120,000 a year, right? And they're just working 40 hours a week on their jobs, right? So yeah, there is that like thought process of like I could be doing an actual career instead of just like doing this. But for the time being, I'm not losing money. I'm not, you know, I'm still putting money away. My bank account is only going up. So it's like, why not take this time, this opportunity that I have now? And should I ever want to have a career change, I can do that, right? I don't think anybody should feel like, oh, I've wasted 10 years on streaming or whatever. Now I'm stuck. It's like, okay, well, fuck, you're 35 now or whatever. Just go back to school. Like, that's totally possible, right?
Yeah. I will say, coming from my background, because I went to college, I have a degree in business marketing with like social media and international marketing.
Not to brag or anything.
And then yeah, not to brag, not to flex. No. But then to go and then pick up streaming as like a hobby and like kind of grow a small community. And then now I'm more interested in working in the gaming field. And my mom worked early on with gaming field with like as sales with like Capcom and stuff. And she has like a lot of friends and stuff. And I've reached out to them and talked to them and gotten to pick their brain on it. A lot of streamers who were successful and then want to transition into a more corporate lifestyle can through like community management and stuff. And there is like
really interesting
paths that like streaming directly like converts into like unconventionally. It helps because you have the stage presence, you have the ability to communicate, and you're an orator, right? You're well spoken, very creative, clearly understand like what works, what doesn't work, right? Even to a degree of even though there is some luck involved, but you still understand that X factor.
That's so interesting.
And there is something to it. Like they need people. They need someone to be their spokesperson. They need someone to be their champion in a sense. And even if you're not like on like the main stage of E3 or Gamescom or whatever, they could still use social media and all these other things too. Where like streaming, even though it's unconventional to say for sure, the skills you learn and acquire through it, whether it's self-promotion, brand management, even self-PR, as well as like data analytics and understanding what is working, what isn't working, is something that you've learned and you've built really good, is the term soft skills? I think they're soft skills, right? Hard skills are like manual labor. But you build these soft skills that like compile, that are all self-taught, and like, there's something to pull yourself up by. It's something very like by your bootstraps kind of thing. Like, it's very self-made.
I hadn't thought
and, like,
of
something to be super proud about.
All the skills you're talking about, like being an orator, being a public like PR agent for yourself. Like these are all like translatable skills that a smart company would see. Like, oh, this person like did this for 10 years or whatever. Like this is like experience. That's super interesting. I'd never thought of that.
And also like you come from the community they want to reach, right? You stream to the masses. They want their games either viewed or played. So, firsthand, like in a way, what games kind of work and the formula that they're trying to hit on and stuff.
Right.
And you could help out with indie companies too. There's companies that need help everywhere.
I said this to Jenny recently too, something very similar, where I'm like essentially saying exactly what you're saying. The skills that you learn, they translate over so well to anything else. Mm-hmm. Like I can't remember what we were talking about, but I said like, Jenny, you are getting social media skills that could be used for, you could be a social media marketer. You can work for a company. Like every company now has social media and is out there and advertising.
She could definitely do that. Like she's super smart.
Also, great conversation starter. It is the best way to diversify your resume. You put your streaming thing. Even though I don't like doing it, I feel cringy because it's just like, oh, I'm a Twitch affiliate. There's a lot of them. But then it's like, well, then you start putting down your numbers, and you're like, hey, there's this is commendable. There's something I worked here. I put down some shit for this, and and it's a great talking point. It shows who you are as a person, better than just like, I have this degree, or like, these are my skills. This is what I'm a team player. You know what I mean? I'm a self-starter. You have actually something that is tangible in self-starting. Like, you can go to my webpage, and I self-started. This is me.
Yeah, it's a proof of point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I don't remember the exact number, but it was like 98% of all streamers on Twitch have less than 100 followers.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's like a huge number of like streamers have less than 100 followers. So when you guys are getting up into the thousands and the 10,000s, like, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Huh. That's crazy. Yeah, because like, wow, I did not know that. When you put that statistic behind it, it puts even more weight to like your thing. But yeah, like the guy I was talking to about it, I'm having him overlook my resume and stuff. He's like, I work with like a lot of streamers who are coming out of the streaming scene and want to do this, but I've never worked with someone who is doing it the other way, where it's like, you did this, but you are more interested in this. You want this. So yeah, I would say, yeah, it's, even though it seems like a gamble, I think there's skills in it that if you do work real hard at and you push yourself, that no one can take away from you.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for covering that kind of, not like a down topic, but like it's like a real take on like some like hard to think about stuff. Because sometimes I think a lot of people, we talked a few weeks back about a streamer that was like saying like NoPixel ruined his life, right? And how he's putting so much time into the server, and like, instead of having real friends, he was just having RP friends, and like that wasn't translating to friends outside of the game. I try really hard when I'm playing to like gauge when I'm RPing with somebody if like we could be like buds outside the server, because in general, like, you end up spending, these are basically coworkers that you're spending time with in the server, and then if you don't feel comfortable like shooting a message, be like, hey, want to play Apex? Like then like, why are you like why are you spending so much time around this person if that's not like a translatable thing? So that's like with Spec, like straight away I was like, oh dude, I'm gonna like game with this guy. This is gonna be fun. Like, we're gonna play some shit. And then he kicked me out. And then he kicked me out of his Discord server.
Oh,
I didn't kick you out. I did not kick you out. I didn't do that. Okay. That was not true.
Okay, well, somebody did.
Role playing is a very vulnerable thing to do. Yeah, you're putting a lot of shit out there.
I will say though, like, that's one thing I feel like I need to do more, is just honestly, like, I don't play anything besides like I'm usually on RP, and when I'm out of RP, like, I'm just kind of like chilling out or doing something else. I don't really play too much other than that.
You guys should come grind Lost Ark with me and Tim. Dude, that game's where it's at. I really like that game.
My younger brother fucking loves Lost Ark. I've grinded a pretty decent amount. I just can't catch. I gotta fucking talk to him and catch up more on it. But yeah, dude.
Yeah, hit me up, dude. My guild will throw you some money so you can hone up.
Role players ruined me,
super
man.
into it.
Oh yeah, you think so?
Is
it all you want to do?
No. None of the games I play now feel as
good
socially. I mean,
yeah.
I can do campaign games, maybe 1 or 2 online matches.
Fuck out of Cyberpunk right now.
Yeah, I played it earlier today. It was fun. I just had to tweak a few of the settings. The game plays better now. I'll admit that.
I play all on Ultra, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like not playing so many other games, because like, it just gives me time to do other shit. Like, picking up editing has been really fun. Like, making that montage was like kind of cool. And like, now it's like, if I'm not streaming, it just gets my like creative brain jogging. You know what I mean?
Shoot traumz the link for the thing. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
For the HOA montage.
Give me a second. I'll pull it up.
It's actually funny to think. kind of going back to what we were talking about with like skills and shit like that. Like I mean, I originally got my start, I think it was like 2014 or something. I taught myself to edit videos to put on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
and then
Dude, this guy's
from
thumbnail
there,
game is on point.
I started streaming, and like that taught me how to set up stream, how to, you know, be in the moment, do all that kind of stuff. And then I even like learned how to make TikTok videos. I did all the like the graphics for my channel, so I had to learn all the Adobe programs. Like these are all things that I was inspired by what I was doing to become like to learn myself, like self-start and actually educate myself on all these different things.
Yeah, exactly. Like
kind of just reminded me of that. Like, oh man, there's so many actual skills that I have now that I wouldn't have had I never gone down this path. Like translatable skills that could work for a lot of different things.
Yeah, it's nuts. It was funny. I'll bring this back to somehow with wrestling again, because I was coaching before this, and the like my first coach, he's a band teacher. And I picked his brain on this for a long time because he's like super into martial arts, judo, taekwondo, all of this, right, in wrestling. And then I asked him, I was like, do you ever find it funny that like you could at one moment you could be so like down to just scrap and like bang heads and like toss each other around, and then immediately turn around and then play like a jazz ensemble. And he's like, oh, I always kind of like that in the sense that like you have to be creative with this, but it's also you have to learn how to be like creative in a way like very hard and aggressive, and then you have to be creative very gently. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, they they compensate each other.
Yeah, it's a different type of creativity where you have to be like very soft, and you don't have to be so like hands on with it. You can, even though you're playing an instrument, you know, there's a bit, it's different, you know.
I just
there's
posted
a middle ground.
In the studio. I posted a couple of thumbnails that traumz shared a while back. These are so good, man. I love these.
Here's the link for that.
Yeah, they're all fucking amazing, man.
Oh,
oh, dude, what, the Radical Heights one is so rad.
It's so good, isn't it?
That was a good
so
game.
much. I loved that game.
It came back for a bit, then I think it's gone again.
These are sick.
Dude, the song Cops on a Bike. Dude, that song's so sick.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, it's getting to be about that time, gentlemen. Anybody have any last topics or questions or anything for anybody they want to bring up? $52 looks like he might have an idea.
Oh.
He looks
52.
You see the light bulbs coming on?
I saw it.
Yeah. No questions.
No questions.
Gears are turning.
I love when 52 gets excited about an idea. He like his eyes get wide and he starts looking around like, oh, this is gonna be good. Boys, dude, thank you so much, HIDARUM. Thank you so much, SPECCYPHER, for coming on. Thanks for being our special guests for episode number 10. Maybe we'll have you back on for 100. How's that sound?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
And by then we'll be making
a lot
buku
of
bucks
weeks in between.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of you know, buku bucks. We'll have Joe Rogan money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah,
no big deal.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Dude,
early
Hopefully one of us
stakeholders.
will be banned.
I'm not gonna lie. This Sun sponsorship, we're going further.
Dude,
we're going out of the galaxy with this.
I guess you could say we're going to the moon.
Interstellar.
Past that.
Hurry, end the podcast. Hurry, man, end the podcast. It's too good.
All right, boys. Where can everybody find you? Shout your if you have your Twitch, obviously. If you have a Twitter or YouTube page, you know, shout that out as well.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch, HIDARUMA, and then YouTube is also HIDARUMA, but Twitter is HIDARUMA5 because I couldn't.
1 through 4 was taken.
Yeah, 1 through 4 was taken. And I think that's all my socials.
Okay.
All my stuff is basically Twitch SPECCYPHER, Twitter SPECCYPHER.
My man,
Pretty much
SPEK
all
Cypher.
the same. Yeah, SPEK.
All right, boys. Thank you so much for coming on, dude. I really appreciate you. Great show. Thanks again, and much good futures to you in the HOA and on NoPixel and everything else.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys
I
having us,
massively
man.
appreciate what you guys do over there in the HOA. It's just it's
Wholesome
heartwarming.
gang. It's the best. It's the best gang in the server.
It literally
1,000
is.
times.
It's
I hope the HOA implodes and ends by the end of the week.
He's so toxic.
Yes,
man. He's so
Pixel, number
toxic.
10.
Oh my god.